Hi Stampers and Crafters, it's Rachel here from Rachthestamper.wordpress.com, and I'm not sure if some of you saw my video that I posted recently about making a spinner card. I did a live Periscope and I made a spinner card using the sliding star framelits. So I made a modification, so I thought I would share that video with you. So the three cards I showed first, so this was one of them. This was just the slide up and down. Okay, that was using Dapper Denim and the star. And then I did another one with the bee, and this is using Crushed Curry, and that's with the bee and the hive. That's what the inside looks like. And then I made a card for a little friend of mine who is celebrating a birthday as well, and he really loves fire trucks. But when I did it, I made it on the outside instead of making it a layer like this one. So my fold didn't turn out quite exactly like I liked it, but then I had a little bit of a brainstorm, so I thought I would share that with you, because this is another way. Basically, I like when the cards are finished on the inside so you can't see the spinner part. So I thought instead we'd make a little bit of a layer here. That way it doesn't bend the card. You still can't see the inside, and you still get the spinner effect. So I did this one. This is with a very old set called You're My Hero. So this is an ambulance. And then I thought, a viewer that was watching this live gave me the idea of putting tire tracks. So I did that. I thought that was awesome. So whoever you are, again, thank you. That was such a good idea. So I thought this card we'll do the same way, but instead we'll give a little bit of love to the police officers and law enforcement. So we're going to make one in Pacific Point, and we're going to use basic black and whisper white. So let's get started. Now I did go ahead and color in my little police car here, and I just fussy cut it out. But the other reason I was doing these is just to show you that you don't have to necessarily just stick with these little guys. So this goes with the the sliding star framelits. The star, the moon, the earth, the bee and the hive, and a paper airplane. They're all great. But I also use this one for a Christmas card slider. But you can use anything. Anything you can attach and you can get it to slide, and it would just be a lot of fun. So these are just some extra ideas. So I have my little police car. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do just a little bit of cutting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim up our paper. So our paper is going to need to be, for the inside, 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to have our basic black. So the only difference is, and maybe I should explain this part first. When we do our card, essentially we're giving up a 1/2 of an inch of the card to this part right here. Okay, so it doesn't really need to be a 1/2 an inch. So I think what I'm going to shoot for this time is maybe a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to not measure the black just yet. So again, we'll make this a stand-up card, so it'll be lengthwise. So we're going to cut this at 4 1/4. Okay, and put that in there. So then what I did is I basically, so you normally, when you would normally score a card stock, you would score it at 5 1/2. So instead, what I did on that one is I scored it at 5 1/4, and then I turned it around and scored it at 5 1/4. But instead of doing that, we'll even split the difference farther. So we're going to do this at, that'd be like 5 16, 15, 14 16ths maybe. So we're going to score it, and then we're just going to turn it around and do the same thing. So it's basically 2 hash marks before the 5 1/2. Okay, so then you have this little ledge here. Okay, so now see it measures up, and you have that little lip there. So now we're going to trim our cardstock. So this will be whatever that is. Oh, that's not half. I'm not into the half yet. Sorry, 1 2 6. So it's 5 6/8, and then it'll be by 4 1/4. So ours is going to be 4. And then we'll go, so 5 6/8. So we'll do a little bit smaller. We'll do 5 1/4. That way we'll still have a nice layer that'll cover. And actually, you know what? I'm going to make this equal. I changed my mind. I'm going to make it equal. That way it completely covers it up in the back. So I'm going to measure it exactly. So pretend like I didn't say that. Sorry about that. So this will be, and I think I said this is 4 1/4. Right, yeah, 4 1/4 by, so what did I say? This was 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 and, geez, it was 5 and 6/8. I'm so slow today. I have had cold medicine. It's not been a great day. So that way it's going to line up completely perfectly so you can't see anything. Okay? That's what we're going for there. Sorry. All right. Let's go ahead and get out our big shot here. Okay, I'm going to move the black out of the way. And what I'm going to do, oh goodness, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here and just decide where I want my circle. So you do want to make sure that you center your circle on your card, because otherwise it's not going to line up properly and everything's going to kind of be a little bit discombobulated. So make sure it's down enough and that it's even on both sides. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there. All right, just put your top layer on and crank it through. Okay, get this out of the way. All right, so now we have our 3 little layers. Move this off to the side. Okay, now you do want to hang on to this little piece because it's going to help you with lining things up. And before we go any farther, I'm going to take this from Timeless Textures. It kind of looks like tire tracks. I'm just going to stamp this all over the front. And I'm going to also stamp it on this little circle piece here, just like some tire tracks. Any kind of random pattern, doesn't really need to be anything specific. If you have anything that looks similar to a road, that was another good idea that somebody gave. Okay. All right, so one other tip that I learned, I was putting the sticky strip on the black part and adhering it, and it made it really hard to line up. So instead, I'm going to put the sticky strip on here. That way it'll be easier to put my black piece onto that. Okay, so let me just grab a little bit here. And you do get 2 of these in a pack. The other thing you could use, you do want to make sure it's very close to the edge, just before I get ahead of myself. Very close to the edge of your card. You could also use dimensionals if you want. I have used that also. Works perfectly fine. Especially over here on the long side, when you have this little edge here, you do want to make sure you are really, really close to the edge. I mean, you could even put it here, skip that little area, and then pick it back up down here, because it's not going to affect your card. You have plenty of stuff. It's going to hold it up, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart or anything like that. And I do use all the little extra pieces here as well, just like I do with my, let me put that one here instead, dimensionals. I use all the way to the ends, because really it's sticky and you bought it, so why not? I'm just going to put that one right there. Let me just do just a little nip to fit in that little spot there. Okay, so make sure that's pushed on there nice and firmly. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and peel this off, and then we're going to put our black. Gosh, I had such a better time getting this off earlier. He knows I'm recording. We're going to put our black backing on. Sometimes if you run your fingernail down it, makes the backing come off a slight bit easier. Plus it adheres it to your card a little better. Oh, geez, one more. I know one day I'll look back on this and laugh. I'm sure it will be one day soon though. Okay, so now very carefully now I'm going to line up my card because this is cut exactly to measurement. So just, oh, that's not right, hold on. Well, I'm going to go to the bottom here instead. Pardon my head. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There we go. That's really nice. Okay, so just give it a little press. All right, and now the reason I told you to save this ring is sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to be able to line up so you have this centerpiece right in the center. So I'm going to put just a couple of dimensionals on here. Just going to form a little triangle on those. And I just have to grab my pennies and my police card. Oh, good grief. Charlie Brown. Okay, one other little tip with your dimensional to adhere your pennies together. If you trim off these little corners, it makes it slightly more circular. So it does spin a little bit better. Doesn't have to be a lot. And the other thing you can use too, if you'd like, is you can use more than one dimensional to give it a little bit of extra height. You don't need to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't really think I've noticed any specific difference in whether or not it slides any better. Okay, so you're just gonna make a sandwich, push them together, they'll pop back up, no worries. Okay, and then I'm going to get some mini glue dots and I'm going to put some on the back of my police car. I do usually kind of hit these heavy just because I don't want it to fall off. You probably could use liquid glue if you wanted to as well, but I think it would just take a little bit too long to dry. So I find it better if you flip this over of your image, that way you don't have any of the pennies sticking out. So there you see, completely covers it. Okay, so now, again, don't mind my head. I'm going to just eyeball where I want to put this. I think I'll go right. That looks pretty good. And then if you kind of just slightly do a little bend and lift, you can pull that ring right out. And then you're going to just slip your card into the bottom and you just kind of lift the lip just, whoops, just till you get it right in between the penny there. There you go. So you see that sliding super easily. Okay, just like that. All right. Oh, you know what? How about a little bit of Wink of Stowe on that siren? That'll make it a little more, give it a little bit of jazz. Pay a little attention to it. You could even put a little bit of, oh, what did they used to make? I think I only have the red right now, which would work. Dazzling Details, Cherry Cobbler. You could use Dazzling Details. The silver would be good too, or Cherry Cobbler. Maybe I'll wait till it dries a little bit, put a little bit of that one there. And then the only other thing I'm going to add, so I'm going to put this on the inside. Okay, and put a little bit of tape in here. Oops. Okay, we'll put our little sentiment in there. And the other thing I'm going to do, this one was always really cute because it came with these cute little, "You're my hero," and the other one says, "Wee you, and happy birthday." So I'm going to do the happy birthday, you're my hero. So these are just some little scraps that I have from when I trim up my cardstock, and they actually fit. Let's see if I can get this in. They fit perfectly in this classic label punch. Just these little tiny strips. So you see that fits in there really nicely. So we'll pop that one out, and I'm going to see if I can fit this one on here. I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. Oh, how do you like that? Sometimes things just work out. Let's see if I can trim it up. Oh, it's very close. Oh, good enough. Absolutely perfect. Love it when a plan comes together. So I would not advise putting these on dimensionals on the front because it could end up somehow impeding your vehicle. So I'm going to put this on the front here. And then what I'll do is, since we have a little space in there, pop this up on a dimensional on the inside because we have a lot of room, even with that just a 1/4 inch of space. But again, it made it turn out so much nicer than the very first version I did when I goofed it up a little bit and I put my ink down. It was still damp, so I put a little off-centering there, and I'll probably fill it in with something else as well. But anyway, there's a whole nother way you can do these cards. If you want to do them with a little bit of added space in between, this still will fit in a standard envelope because now it is a 1/4 of an inch shorter, so it will still be mailable. Again, you could put some dazzling details or dazzling diamonds on the front of that. Maybe give it a little bit of sparkle if you wanted to. I hope you guys like these cards. I think they're so cute. I know these little kids, when they get them, are going to absolutely love them. But here's just a couple examples of the sliding star framelits. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. And if you don't know right now, the holiday catalog will be coming out very soon. If you don't have one and you would like a copy of the catalog, you can shoot me an email with your name and address, full mailing address please, to rachthestamper@gmail.com. You can follow my blog to see all of this and more, rachthestamper@wordpress.com. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe to me on YouTube. You'll find me here at Rach the Stamper. I'm getting ready to do a contest when I'm getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to be giving away this Country Living stamp set. I'll give you the details on that soon. This is what you're going to win if you're the winner. So again, please follow me. Instagram, Twitter, oh goodness, what else? Periscope, pretty much all those. I'm Rach the Stamper. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day.